Donald Trump, we're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there. Wow. Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. And all right, we are officially in new territory here tonight. And I'm not even talking about the 29.54 gold futures or 33.40 for silver. And we will also even leave aside that Bank of Japan ready to increase bond buying if yields jump, and then Japan's core inflation hits 19-month high. And that's not really funny in any way. But we will cut right to it because I was going through my email and see Donald Trump. We're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there. Wow. That sure does sound rather exciting. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Scott Bessent monetizing assets on the balance sheet for the US people. And now here, let's take a look through this because Donald Trump is back. Musk's plan to audit the gold reserves at Fort Knox. Stop and read that one again. We'll see if something happens and whether that ultimately ends up happening or not. But I would say this is a good sign. We're finally being reported that we are going to get an audit on Fort Knox. We're going to go into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there. You know that we're going to go into Fort Knox. Did you know about that? So Musk had suggested verifying Fort Knox to say that it holds the gold that they say they do, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people think that makes sense. And he says here, this gold is the property of the American people. I sure hope it's still there. And it mentions here they're going through the efforts. I mean, some of the fraud that they've uncovered is pretty stunning. I know they said there's extensive fraud at the U.S. Treasury. At least that I've seen that reported. Trump says here, we hope everything's fine with Fort Knox, but we're going to go to Fort Knox, make sure the gold's there. If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset. Oh, yeah, I think a lot of people would. And there's our friend JP Cortez of the Sound Money Defense League. And nice to see him being recognized. And he mentions there are legitimate questions about the status of America's gold holdings, which I think is pretty fair. And last note here, it says that Scott Bessent mentioned that the gold is audited every year. I've heard a lot of mixed views on that. Anyway, I was stunned when I read this and I thought, is this maybe one publication making something up? And then you go and Google it. So at least there are plans now to audit Fort Knox around the same time that they are monetizing assets on the US balance sheet, and gold is less than $50 away from breaking 3,000 for the first time. And this is 9:32 Eastern PM on Thursday night, February 20th. So anyone who's felt at times that the ride in gold and silver has been slow or torturous, I know how you feel, but some good signs for optimism. Certainly a lot of good things have happened over the past year, but certainly some exciting signs for optimism. I don't know that that means we're getting a gold reset tomorrow, but might be getting an audit of Fort Knox. So I say we celebrate that. And for a little coverage of another supposed partial audit of Fort Knox, well, check out this one that's coming your way now.